Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
You ever get a hunch in sports?
Yeah, and then I correct my posture.
Gets a hunch in his back.
Hey.
He's got a bad back.
All right.
It's getting better.
How would you say, Jesse and Steve, how would you rate your gut feeling on sports? Like something like your premonition.
It's usually unfettered dread. And it's often correct.
Well, if you're good at predicting, you might want to try Betway, the sports betting app that backs you to trust your sports instincts. If that sounds like you, opt in to the Betway Parlay Club today to earn $10 in free bets. When you place $25 or more on sports multiples or bet builder bets with at least 3 selections, you're going to receive $10 back in free bets. This offer is available every week, so head over to Betway and bet your way. Steve, what's your premonition?
Your team is going to win.
I got a new slogan for them.
What is it?
Betway. We're gut healthy.
Must be 19 years of age or older to play. Please play responsibly.
What's better than beating the Leafs?
Nothing.
Can I play it?
Nothing.
Can I play the infamous Mark Scheifele?
Please play it.
After what day? When was around the first time the Jets beat the
Early
Leafs?
December. It was right around Christmas because people were talking about my quote, like I just said it, ignoring the Christmas decorations all over the table.
Right.
Yeah, here, just
Here we go.
play it because I have thoughts.
Hey, boys. Is there anything better than beating the Leafs? Hey? Anything better? This goes for this guy.
So actually, do you want to listen to this as well?
Yes,
So Wayne
because I haven't
Simmons-
heard this. I only read it.
Wayne Simmons was asked about this quote, and if he had heard it, I'll just play it. I don't even have to explain it. He'll go into it right now.
Did you see the video of Scheifele after that game in the dressing room saying, guys, is there anything better than beating the Leafs?
Yeah, that's fine. I feel most teams feel that way. So I don't think that's anything out of the norm. I feel like every team we go up against really wants to beat us. So, whatever. They got the win. They're allowed to enjoy it the way they want. But, tonight will be a different story.
Why do you think that some teams, or a lot of teams, relish beating the Leafs?
We're Toronto, and I feel like I'm not trying to be arrogant or cocky, but I feel like Toronto is kind of, universally known as kind of the center of the hockey world. So, I know when I used to play against the Leafs, I'd want to crush them every single time. So, I know that feeling. So I have no doubt in my mind that every single player in this league feels that way when they play against us.
Well, I'm glad the one thing missing from what he was saying was the perspective of someone who used to play against the Leafs. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad he said it because, Jesus, Wayne, you could tell. You could tell, especially when you were on the Flyers. He used to make Dion Phaneuf's life a living hell.
Oh, yeah.
Every time they played each other. So I really enjoyed him saying that.
I'm glad somebody finally said it.
Yes.
Because every time the Leafs play anyone, all the Toronto guys come in and they're on a heater and they're so intense about that one game. And there's Wayne admitting it, saying it's true, it's a thing. And that's why the Jets are so happy about beating the Leafs, because we are the mecca of the hockey universe.
So I have some friends who are Jets fans and they're from Winnipeg. And they're like, by the way, like, do you understand that your reaction to that clip is exactly why everyone loves beating the Leafs? Listen, I get it. I totally get it. But now the shoe is on the other foot and I get to really, really enjoy this. And it's so funny how a season changes and how a mood changes. The Leafs lose to Montreal 5 days ago or 6 days
1
ago?
week tomorrow, because it's Saturday night, right?
Okay. And then they play a nasty game against Florida the next night.
Win.
Beat them. Play a nasty game against the Bruins.
Win.
Beat them. And a nasty cannot lose game against the Winnipeg Jets. Beat them. And all of a sudden, my mood around this team has completely switched.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that? 3 games in 5 days against killer opponents. The Florida Panthers are top of the division for a reason. The Bruins are never going to go away. I feel like we're destined to do this forever. And the Winnipeg Jets basically have to win out. They did heading into last night.
They're
and
screwed.
they're
You-
pretty screwed,
Yeah.
but it's possible.
So the Stars are playing too well for me, for them to drop off and relinquish that spot. And also ahead of them is also Vegas. So like
Who they beat.
Who
twice,
they beat?
and then lost to Ottawa.
Yeah.
Boo.
And then you lose to Toronto. It's just the math doesn't work out for, I think, for them and Vancouver. It's a 2-horse race for me between the Stars and Vegas. I think the Stars got it.
But it felt really good.
It felt so good.
That's-
What a great win.
That's about as satisfying a win
Mhm.
this is about as satisfying a week as the Leafs have had in a long time.
Yeah, and the win looked even more impressive considering how they started. Because
Oh,
the Leafs
awful.
struggled so much coming out of the gate. Like that, those first 2 goals were not great.
No.
They couldn't. You said in the LFR they couldn't complete passes.
Okay, am I alone? Because I watch. People don't realize I watch the vast majority of Leaf games alone by myself in the basement. Like I'm lucky if my wife sits next to me on her phone.
Right.
She's usually upstairs watching Bridgerton or some shit. Like I watch them alone, and I'm just like I'm sitting there. I'm like my kingdom for a pass. They couldn't complete a pass, right?
I don't know why they started so slow. Maybe it might have been coming off like the Boston game 2 nights ago. You're a little slow coming out the gate.
Missing guys.
Missing guys, yeah, obviously. But yeah, it was a weird start, considering how they've started the last 2 games where they seemed to be the dominant team right out the gate. It seemed like old Leafs were back, and it was 2-0 real quick. But then they settled in.
Well, and the Jets couldn't. It's a weird thing to say considering they got a 2-0 lead out of it, but it just felt like they couldn't capitalize on the Leafs being shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they managed to get 2 goals while also looking like the worst team against a team that was playing poorly. Does that make sense?
I don't think the Jets are that great defensively. And
They're
like
horrible.
at no point did we see them play a tight game. And I think that was all very apparent even when the Leafs were down 2-0. That's why it looked inevitable that they were going to win that game and come back. That's why I bet on it when they were down 2-0, and you get good odds because you get plus odds with the Leafs winning.
Backup goalie,
Backup goalie.
even though he's played well.
There was always a confidence that the better team was going to win out that game, and they did. And the entire game was real chippy. We'll get into the reffing
Yes.
problems that they have because I think the discrepancy in the power plays is something we need to talk about. But yeah, it never seemed, even though they were terrible, it never seemed out of reach that they win it.
I'm mad at myself because usually I always tell people I don't write down notes for the LFR. Like if it's good, I'll remember it. And that is usually true. But sometimes I'll come up with something good and forget.
Oh, so you should write things down.
I know.
That's
It's rare though. It's rare. I usually remember. So last night.
Can I call you the Jay-Z of LFRs? Because Jay-Z
Yeah.
doesn't write his raps.
No.
He
Yeah.
just goes
So
off
I
top
don't
of
rate
the
my
dome.
Leaf raps. Just no. Top of the dome.
You're like Wayne and Jay-Z. You don't write your raps.
Don't write them down because I was going to be like, William Nylander needs to. He's a leader on this team. The Leafs need him to be a leader on this team. So he's got to pay attention to details. We know he has this offensive skill, but he needs to give more effort. He needs to back check. He needs to do the little things that help your team win. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are my notes for Mark Scheifele. What?
Oh, shut up.
Dude, that's if Mark Scheifele was not
Yeah.
from Ontario and he
Okay.
was from Finland, Sweden, anywhere else in
Mhm.
Europe.
If his name was like, I don't know, Patrick Laine.
Yes,
Mhm.
Jesse, absolutely. Absolutely. He's shocking. He's shocking. Blake Wheeler's not much better. Holy shit, Mark Giordano. Holy fuck. We're gonna pretend like that goal never happened. What goal?
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah,
Nothing.
yeah.
Nope, they won the game. He scored a goal. We pretend that never happened.
He got walked.
No, okay, that game started Jets up 1-0. They got it because they won the first leg
Yeah.
of the home and home. That's what we'll call it. And no, I'm gonna pretend like that never happened. But no, he's that team is their forward group is shocking,
Mhm.
and it's not a systems thing. It would be a systems thing if they were skating around here, there, and everywhere. And no, he literally stopped skating after the red line.
Right.
He doesn't care.
The Leafs also seemed a little, especially on the first power play, where they seemed like they're squeezing their sticks a little tight because they're trying to get Austin 50.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was the Austin 50 thing hanged over the game. If that's not probably not the right term, but it was
hung
over the game. I don't know. Everybody was talking about it, and it was a thing, and it was a narrative, and the Leafs seemed to also get it.
Bob McKenzie just right away, as soon as the intermission panel started, he's like, why are they trying to get him a goal so bad? And like in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's like what Matthews goes like, I don't know, 2 goals without a game sometimes, or sorry, 2 games without a goal.
Yeah, that. Like if they're just playing regular hockey, he'll score. Like it was fine.
He'll be fine.
They were trying so hard in that first power play, and then you saw in the second power play where they took advantage of the Jets, thinking that Matthews was going to get all of these shots, and Willie scored.
The second he did that, I was like, that made sense. That was smart. That was good that you did that.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Austin 50 thing.
What about it?
The fourth Leaf to ever score 50.
Oh, sorry. Before we get to Austin.
Yeah.
Did Adam seriously tweet something and promote it in Winnipeg?
What?
So a bunch of people were messaging me that Adam tweeted something about the Winnipeg Jets.
Hold on.
Like making fun of Jets fans or whatever.
And he paid to have the tweet promoted?
In Winnipeg. Which is Justin Fisher did a few years ago.
If I'm on his timeline, I can't see his promoted tweets. Like that's not a thing.
No.
Amongst your tweets on your profile. I don't know.
I'll try to find it. I'll try to find it. Sorry, Austin 50. Austin 50.
All right. That's so I wish he was here. We could ask him. You know, he's sleeping upstairs. I wish we could find out.
We're in his house.
Right, we don't know. So Austin Matthews, 62 games to become the 4th Leaf to join the 50 goal club in franchise history. It's crazy that the Leafs have only had 4 players in the 50 goal club when they've been around for more than 100 years.
It's hard to do.
It is. A couple of more interesting things about Austin's 50. He was the fastest 50 goal season in 26 years. So back in 95, 96 was the last time. That's league-wide. It was the last time somebody else had 50 and 62. And in that season, 4 guys did it, actually. Lemieux, Yager, McGinley, and Peter Bondra. They all did 50 and 62, but that was the last time.
Bondra was so underrated. That was a great player, man. He tore the late 90s up in a era where no one scored.
Rick Vive, when he produced his 50-goal season, he did it at 0.7 goals per game. But the average goals per game for an NHL team was 8.02 in a game. So like both teams combined for 8 goals a game.
Okay.
Right now, teams are combining for 6.22 goals per game. And Matthews is at a scoring pace of 0.81 goals per game.
I'm sorry, that sounds like an MVP to me.
Right? Matthews' pace is 0.1 goals better than Rick Vive, and league-wide goals in a game are down about almost 2 goals per game from where Rick did it.
I'm not shocked to hear 4 people hit 50 in 95, 96, because that was basically the last hurrah before the dead puck era started to begin.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh man, when they sunk
and
deep
then
into
the 04-05 season when they came back, goals were up again.
No, the 04-05 season was low on offense because there were no games.
Oh, well,
05-06.
05-06, yeah. And then for this last stat, the adjusted for era, Matthews' season is one of the 25 best scoring seasons in the league's modern history. Wow. Rick Vive's season would have been tied for 510th. And Matthews is top 25. Those numbers were compiled by Jonas Siegel and James Martle. Great job, guys. It's an unbelievable feat what he accomplished.